AliExpress sales and prices are basically dropping off a cliff. So why not use this time to actually get on AliExpress and buy yourself a fitness tracker or smartwatch that you've been yearning for quite a while, because the discounts are really major. Now, as you know, I actually get most of the fitness trackers and smartwatches that I review and test on this channel from AliExpress, simply because the prices are so much better than on the high street. So what I actually want to do today is show you 5 fitness trackers and 2 smartwatches that are the best from 2023 in my humble opinion. Let me tell you all about them. Let me show you what they're all about, and you can make the call if you want to reach out and actually get them, because the prices are quite sharp. Now, I have reviewed all of these items and the links to the reviews will be in the description below the video. Also, I've left the links to the listings of these watches in the description below the video, so make sure to check them out if you're after some sharp prices. So now, without further ado, let's talk about these 7 items in detail. First up is the Redmi Watch Active 3 global version. It gets a huge 1.83-inch LCD display. I have reviewed it and the link is below. The display is rich and AMOLED-like. It gets the deep blacks, rich saturated colors. If I didn't know any better, I would think it is actually AMOLED. It gets a long battery life, at least a week with typical usage. It weighs only 42 grams with the strap. It gets good brightness at 450 nits, 580 and water resistant, and gets 100 sport modes. But there are 2 standout features on this watch. Firstly, it gets Bluetooth calls, so there is a microphone and speaker on the watch. Number 2 is that it gets a metal finished case for premium looks, as well as reducing the wear and tear of everyday life. For number 2, we've got Xiaomi Mi Band 8 global version. So I've also reviewed this piece and the link is below. This latest version, or the Mi Band 8, is absolutely insane. It's packed with features and functions, yet the price is consistent with prior models. So this is very strange. Every year we get a new model or a new version, and yet the price remains the same. It gets a pebble-like design, smooth and modern on every side. It gets tempered curved glass on top, and also quite a large 1.62-inch AMOLED display with 326 ppi resolution, which is comparable to high-end smartwatches. The display gets very bright, up to 600 nits. There is an ambient light sensor for auto brightness. It also gets AOD, aka always on display. There are 150 gold-based sport modes, as well as that it's 580 and water resistant. The battery will easily last over a week with typical usage. For number 3, let's talk about the all-time favorite Huawei Band 8. This is probably one of the best all-rounders with a very comfortable silicone strap, which has a classic watch-type buckle. This is the most convenient type of clasp for trackers in my opinion, simply because it's so easy to put on or off when you're in a hurry or doing exercises. Here we get a rectangular 1.47-inch AMOLED display. Unfortunately, there's no auto brightness, but there is always on display. There are hundreds of downloadable faces. In regards to battery life, you can get a full charge within 45 minutes. Another good thing about the battery life is that with a full charge, the watch can go on for over 8 days with typical usage. This tracker gets 100 gold-based sport modes. It's one of the lightest trackers on the market at just 22 grams with the strap, or 14 grams without the strap. It's a hybrid tracker that is on the border to smartwatches because of the button on the right-hand side. That helps you navigate the watch more efficiently when your hands are wet or gloved. At number 4, we've got Xiaomi Mi Band 8 Pro. Now this tracker is a powerhouse, and I've actually done my reviews of it as well as heart rate accuracy tests. It's not just bigger in size than the Mi Band 8, but it's better at almost every single turn. The only downside to this watch, and why I put it at number 4 is that there is no global version available yet, and you'll have to get fiddly with your phone's location settings, if you're not in China that is, to get it set up. But if I can do it, I'm sure anyone can. It gets a massive 1.74-inch AMOLED display. Same as the Mi Band 8, it gets a higher screen refresh rate of 60 Hz. There's auto brightness and always on display. You get 150 sport modes, but here you can actually use all of the 150 sport modes much more efficiently, simply because you do have inbuilt GPS. It also gets NFC, and what that means is that now you can actually leave your phone at home while you go running or cycling. So you've got the GPS to calculate and measure your distance and your speed, and you've got your NFC if you do need to make any payments along the way. At number 5, we've got Amazfit BiP5. Now, I put this tracker down as number 5 simply because of price, as it's slightly more expensive than the other 4 trackers. It gets a 1.9-inch LCD display. There are 120 sport modes. There's a virtual pacer. There's also Pi, the personal activity index, which looks at the intensity of the activities that you've performed over the previous week and basically is a good indicator of whether you have exercised enough. You get all the sensors like heart rate, stress monitoring, SpO2 monitoring. You get sleep monitoring here as well as a sleep score. There are a few really premium features on this tracker. So here we get Bluetooth calls via the microphone and speaker on the watch. So similar to the Redmi Watch Active 3, but here the quality of the microphone and speaker are much better. This watch also gets inbuilt GPS. There are 120 goal-based sport modes, so it's slightly worse than the 150 on the Mi Band 8 Pro, but here we do get a button on the right hand side. So with this massive display, it's really nearly in the smartwatch territory. As well as that, on this tracker, we get Alexa, Amazon's AI assistant. So you can ask it questions about the weather, you can ask for directions, you can ask Alexa to record your shopping list or set up an alarm. And also, the GUI on this tracker is probably the most advanced from the list. In regards to all of the trackers that we've mentioned so far, they all count your steps, they all monitor and measure your heart rate. They measure your SpO2, aka blood oxygen saturation. They monitor your stress as well as your sleep. So all of these trackers actually monitor 3 sleep stages: your light, your deep, and REM sleep stages. Now that happens during the night, of course, but as long as your naps are over 20 minutes long, these watches will also pick up your naps. First up, it's going to be Amazfit GTR4. Now the looks here are absolutely stunning. We get a stainless steel case, alloy bezel, a button and a pushable rotating crown on the right. It looks sporty and very contemporary. By the way, you can get this in a rectangular form, but the model name is slightly different. It's called GTS4, but I just love the round shape here. Now, we do get a 1.43-inch AMOLED display with all the premium features and other jazz, like auto brightness, always on display, hundreds of downloadable faces. It also gets 2.5D Gorilla tempered glass on top of the dial. Personally, I love the original watch looks and lugs to which you can attach any third-party 22mm wide strap. It gets 150 sport modes and inbuilt GPS. There are 8 auto-recognized activities. As well as that, there is a recognition of strength exercises and muscle groups you're targeting. You also get top-notch heart rate accuracy. It also supports live sports data broadcasts through the speaker or to your earbuds. There's the Alexa AI assistant, and Bluetooth calls are also available. Premium features don't stop there, because you also get 16 GB of storage to download music or audiobooks for those times you want to exercise but not to take your phone with you. Now the battery life here will last you up to a week with typical usage, and that is with several exercises as well as you using your GPS. As the second favorite smartwatch, I want to talk about the Huawei GT3. Now not the Pro, just the GT3, because the Pro, yeah, it looks a bit better, but I don't think I should be overpaying almost 50% for some better looks and just slightly better features. What I really like with the GT3 is that you can get it in two sizes. You can get the 42mm version and you can get the 46mm version. The 42mm version is a bit more elegant, while the 46mm watch is all about hardcore sports. The battery life on both with typical usage, including GPS and sport modes, will last around 5 days. Now the 46mm watch does get a slightly larger battery, so you might pull another day extra on there. On the 42mm version you get a 1.32-inch AMOLED display. On the 46mm version you get a 1.4-inch AMOLED display. You get all the usual jazz like always on display, auto brightness. There's inbuilt GPS on both, and similar aesthetic to Amazfit GTR4 as well as GTS4 with a button and a rotating crown on the right hand side. Now what I really like with the Huawei's and the GPS feature there is that you get the route back option, and that means that if you have GPS switched on and let's say you wandered off in a park, in a forest, you can actually have the route back feature switched on, and the watch will tell you what's the shortest way back to your starting point. So I think that is really useful, especially if you're into hiking or going somewhere where you haven't been before. This brings us to the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and I have actually reviewed all of the fitness trackers and watches that I've been telling you about today. Now I've also performed heart rate accuracy tests as well as GPS accuracy tests for these watches. Now I've left the links to the reviews in the description below the video, as well as the links to the listings where I got these watches. So considering there are some massive sales happening on AliExpress, make sure to check him out if you're after a sharp price. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, drop me a like. If you want to see more of the same, you know what to do. Please hit the red subscribe button below the video, and I'll see you in the next one.